I'd like to present to you the first documentation of the no-dig trial beds that I've started at my job. These beds are situated in our walled garden, which is sheltered from the elements. A predominant problem was when it came to weeding and management of the beds. Such a vast space with so much open ground creates a lot of weed pressure, and you can sort of lose your head trying to imagine weeding all of this. My no-dig bed looked something like this just recently, or a bit more like this. So here we've sown green manure seed. My colleagues think it's mustard, but I'm not totally sure on that. But at least it's a biomass that's covering the soil at this time of year, and so the next process would have been to use a petrol rotavator or cultivator and lightly rotivate or cultivate probably 6 inches deep. So you'd run the cultivator up and down these beds, and it will spin teeth long tines and incorporate this green manure. After cultivating, you are ready with a loose soil ready to plant into. So I came up with this design to lower this weed pressure and also give better access to the beds, so you don't have to walk directly on the soil compacting it, and also to make the management of the plants much easier. You can see from here so from any part of this bed you can easily reach into the center of the beds, and with easy access you don't have to compact to the soil. You're always walking on these pathways, and again you can see you can work from the other side from here, or some people like to work on their knees and they can reach into the center, or some people like to lean straight over. So however you like to weed, you have easy access all over. This thick layer of mulch will sit upon the seed, stopping their germination underneath this mulch. You can see first I rolled out, here you go, you can just see there, I rolled out a carpet of brown parcel paper, and what this does is it instantly suffocates the green manure. Instead of having to cultivate the soil and destroying the worms, cutting them up, it suffocates, and then you can put your mulch on top of that. So this mulch is it's still breaking down. There's still some big pieces of sort of grass clippings and leaves and all sorts, and I'm totally for that. So it's going to be protecting the soil during the harsh elements of winter, with these big pieces that take the impact, and then they slowly break down, and within a couple of months, when we're ready to plant in March, should be left with something that's nice to just pull apart and plug your plant straight into there. The beds are edged with beech logs that come from our coppice on the estate. So There's 85 meters used on this bed in total, but that's only a small scratch in the surface of the log store that they have, and these are much thinner pieces. The rest of the logs are chipped and used for our biomass boiler, which heats a lot of the homes on the estate. So they're simply set into the soil. We used a sledgehammer to knock them in, to bed them in, and then this was the last stage, adding this wood chip mulch that was donated to us by a wildlife service who had to do some tree felling. And again, its purpose is to suppress the seeds and weeds from growing really deep down under there. Ignore this side, this is a collection of delphiniums, this has nothing to do with me. So what I'd like to see is these beds growing big, luscious, nutrient-dense vegetables with easy management, and also very attractive and inspiring to our visitors, displaying to them what they could maybe do at home. And lots of worms. So the next thing to do is decide what is going to go in the beds now that the beds are made and everything's breaking down ready for springtime. I would really love to mirror this bed exactly, to do a real scientific test and have this as the control, and see how the weeds grow in this bed and how the plants grow and how easy it is to manage. I also log how much time I'm spending on each of these beds. At the moment, I think I'd love to. I have this picture in my head of growing big cabbages in an avenue down here, and that could be mirrored here. It's a feature that runs through the rest of the garden, these lovely avenues of plants. So cabbages, and with this shade of this large cotoneaster here, I think I will keep the brassicas at the front here as well. So I'm thinking broccoli and in this bed more brassicas, a real mix of. I'd love to mix lots of kales and have a real kale forest of lots of different leaf textures, and I really want to utilise the sun. So that's the north, that's a south facing wall. So I think if I have the largest plants at the back, it's going to catch the most sunlight, and then I can step them down. So maybe sweet corn and okra at the back, and then down into beans, and then down into root vegetables, and then the brassicas. But it's a real experiment. I'm really excited. I'm going to get some seeds going today, I think, and yeah, I'll give you an update for the next stage.